Dan Willis here, and we're talking about how to increase your credit score and specifically how to dispute your credit report. Now, we need to discuss how actually to file your credit report dispute because this is how we're going to remove any credit report errors, dings, and blemishes. To do this, we'll need to exercise your consumer rights granted by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. This federal legislation enables you to challenge and dispute any item on your credit report so long as you believe it's inaccurate, incorrect, or made in error. And so you know there is nothing illegal about disputing any item on your credit report. In other words, there is no credit bureau SWAT team at the ready to kick down your front door for disputing any item on your credit report. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is federal legislation passed for you, the consumer. There's three ways to file your credit report dispute: online, over the phone, and by mail. Once the credit bureaus get your dispute, they first get to deem it valid or frivolous. Only on valid disputes are they required to investigate, and that's another conversation for another time and place. So for the full story, we're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website. We also have a free report available for you over there, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. Now, once the credit bureaus get your dispute and find it valid, they're required to investigate. They'll call it a reinvestigation, during which they'll contact the company reporting the information and request they verify the account. If the item is verified, it'll remain on your credit report. However, if the item is not verified, then in compliance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it must be removed from your credit report. The FCRA is very clear. Every item on your credit report must be verifiable. If not, it must be removed. This is how to clear your credit report, and legally, and by exercising your rights as a consumer. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. You'll be notified of the investigation results in about 30 days. So 30 days from when you file your dispute, you ought to be notified of the investigation results. And you'll be notified via the method you filed your credit report dispute. For instance, if you filed your dispute by mail, you'll be notified of the investigation results by mail. If there's an item you'd like to challenge, dispute, and potentially remove on all 3 of your credit reports, you'll need to file 3 separate credit disputes, 1 dispute per bureau. And due to amendments to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, today you can also dispute a data furnisher. This is the company reporting the account information to the credit bureaus, and you can dispute them directly, thus bypassing the credit bureaus. And we'd be remiss if we neglected to mention one of the most common tactics the credit bureaus deploy is to find consumer disputes frivolous. If this happens, you'll be notified and they'll request additional information. Comply with their request, but understand this is often nothing more than a stall tactic. The goal is simply to frustrate you, and with the hopes you'll just give up and go away. And most people do. There's a plethora of evidence proving this from a 60 Minutes investigation a few years ago in which they outlined just how darn near impossible it is for the average person to clean up credit report errors, even the most obvious of errors from their credit reports. To a lady in Oregon named Miss Julie Miller. Miss Julie woke up one day to discover 38 bogus collection accounts were on her Equifax credit report. Julie did exactly what the Fair Credit Reporting Act says to do and filed her Equifax dispute. For the next 2 years, Equifax continuously found Julie's dispute frivolous and requested additional information. She complied and sent them her W-2s, driver's license, pay stubs, DNA, and her firstborn child. Yes, that's a small exaggeration. Nevertheless, after 2 years of getting the runaround, Julie finally got fed up and sued Equifax, and she won. She was awarded $18.6 million, which was later reduced on appeal to $1.8 million. The point is, these 38 collection accounts on Julie's credit report weren't her accounts. They had a different name, different social security number, and more. Yet she got stuck living a nightmare trying to fix an obvious error. This is one reason why folks turn to legal, effective, and legitimate credit repair companies to help. Hopefully, your circumstances aren't as dire as Miss Julie's, and many folks are able to work within the system to get rid of bad credit. In 2017 alone, over 10 million negative items were removed from consumer credit reports. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll free 1 844 517 7627. The credit bureau's games are unfortunately predictable. Think, the credit bureaus are required by federal law to investigate consumer disputes. It's not out of the goodness of their heart or because they're committed to having an accurate credit report about you, me, or any American citizen. It's because they must. The Fair Credit Reporting Act requires them to do so. And while they may be able to justify this expense having built a $4 billion per year industry by merely collecting information about you, me, and every American citizen, and then selling that information to our potential lenders, creditors, and today even employers, it's also common sense that the credit bureaus over the decades would look for ways to minimize this expense. Naturally, and while it's estimated they receive 8 million consumer disputes annually, it's easy to see how they could limit this expense by claiming many consumer disputes are frivolous. That's what the evidence indicates. And the lawyers and credit experts that work these cases say, and we quote, the credit bureaus are willing to tolerate these errors and settle with consumers out of court as a cost of doing business, end quote. Again, we quote, and this is Justin, their business model is to keep doing the same thing over and over again, said Justin Baxter, the lead lawyer on Miss Julie Miller's case. And we're going to quote him one last time here. They can buy off a number of consumers with small dollar amounts and get rid of the vast majority of cases. To Equifax, that's the cost of doing business, end quote. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1 844 517 7627. Again, that's for a free credit report consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1 844 517 7627. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there for you, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation, because coming up next, we're going to be talking about how to deal with debt collectors. So of course, subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.